Some innards came out of that roach. Anyway, here's the thing. He believed it was an old seal, but when it moved in his hand, he was petrified. Hey viewers, what you just heard is the title of one of the articles about the main character of today's episode, which is the spider sitting right here. This is one of the strangest spiders nature has ever created, at least in my opinion. There are various types of spiders, some with spikes, some without, and even some that are non-venomous. But this little spider I'm going to show you today is a real oddball, but we'll get to that in a moment. Very much like in a few previous episodes, this video will also have two parts, because we'll get to this strange spider that's in this terrarium right here at the end. That'll be the cherry on top, so we'll set this spider aside for now. Recently, quite a few of my viewers, you have been asking for a feeding, right? That we could finally feed something, because how is it? A channel about spiders without feeding spiders? How can that be? That's why I'm responding to these requests. Today, we'll feed more than just spiders, because we have 1, 2, 3 spiders to feed, and we'll also feed my whip spider, which, by the way, is the largest species of whip spider in the world. Not this individual specifically, but it belongs to the species of whip spider that is the largest in the world. So let's change the shot. Alright, so first up is this beauty, and I think you can already see part of the name here, although it's a bit blurry. This is Homeomma sp blue, an undescribed spider species from the Homeomma genus in Peru. And listen, an interesting fact is that the Homeomma genus is quite fascinating because from what I've read, the males, maybe not specifically of this one since it's Homeomma sp blue, spiders from the Homeomma genus are long-lived. An article mentioned a male from this genus that lived for 15 years. Quite remarkable. Interestingly, male insects typically have a short lifespan of only a few years. So here we have a female. This is a juvenile female, but she's already starting to show that nice blue color. And she's pretty fresh, just after molting. So let's try giving her a cockroach. Maybe she'll eat it. We'll see. And that's it. Yes. Beautiful. What, do you want more? Come on, don't. Let go. Damn it, don't bite the tweezers. You're tough to operate on. She left that roach, huh? Damn, yeah. Now it's okay, now she ate it. See? She's pretty now, kind of bluish.
Nice little spider.
As you can see, the little spider is very pretty, kind of bluish, with orange or maybe dark yellow stripes on its legs. Yeah, it's pretty cute. We also have this light spot on its abdomen. Oh. The small spider has interesting colors and a rather nasty temperament from what I've observed. As a New World species, its venom is weak. However, as mentioned, she can stand her ground. You know what? Since she ate one, maybe she'll grab the second one too. They generally grow slowly, so we'll see what happens here. Oh no, she's not in the frame. She'll eat it, she'll catch it, it's just that it got away from her. I'm not worried that this spider will molt or anything, because seriously, she molted very recently. So she'll have some food. Nice. He got stuck there in that lichen. Alright, you know what? Let's close her up just so we don't pinch her legs here. I'll nudge her a bit, just gently. Yeah. Go on, buddy. What a drama. Oh. Now she's going to act clever here. Go on, get in there. No, that's not food. Go over there. What a disaster. No. Alright, it's done. Cool, nice, one down. The next specimen is a male this time, and it's... Oh, you can already see him back there. That's Formictopus sp dominican purple. I have 2 specimens, 2 males. I think these are cool spiders, and I'll tell you, they're also pretty feisty. Let's see if this male will eat. We'll find out. Ho.
What?
What just happened here? So what? Probably one more, right?
No.
Oh my, he really destroyed that cockroach. Hoppy, here's some food. He has a beautiful pink carapace, but I'm not sure if I can capture it on camera. We'll see. Maybe it'll work. Okay, I managed to coax him out a bit so we can take a look at him. A very pretty little spider overall, and both the males and females are beautiful. Well, this spider comes from the Dominican Republic, right? Also the New World, also with relatively weak venom. Homeomma species Bluto can be pretty nasty at times, but the good news is that there aren't really any major issues associated with it. There are practically no problems with feeding it, and it always eats eagerly unless it's about to molt. Well, then it doesn't. Aside from that, there are no significant issues with these spiders, and the small ones are remarkably all blue. Great, 2 spiders taken care of. Now it's time for the big one, which is the Braca. That's right, here sits what is basically an adult female Brachypelma hamori. Oh, do you see her leg there? Yeah. That's her leg. Let's see if she's hungry. What, you don't want to eat? Well, unfortunately, I'll have to disappoint you here, but the female doesn't want to eat, and that's it, right? So we'll close it up. There's no point in forcing her to eat. She'll be fed later without any problem. She actually ate yesterday, but it was just a small cockroach. Well, that's it. So then, let's take care of the last feeding subject, which won't be a spider, but rather an arachnid. An arachnid, right? So, a Europaiga, or in other words, a whip scorpion, which is sitting here. And I hope that we'll be able to record its feeding, because it hunts in a really cool way. To do that, I need to boldly take this out. I always feed him this way. Unless he's sitting... Oh, there he is. Okay, great, he's sitting. Do you see him? He's kind of a scary creature. All right, here we go. And now the hardest part, which is trying to feed him, but I don't want to block the light, but I think I'll do it like this. All right, let's try. Oh, wait. I have to do it differently. He already figured out there's food, but you won't see it since he'll go out of the frame. Feeding with one hand while keeping track of his location with the other is the worst. That's just how it is sometimes. Oh, let's try it this way. Careful. Oh, beautiful. Awesome. The worst part about feeding him is that when he grabs the tweezers, it's really hard to get them back from him. See? He's already grabbed the tweezers, and unfortunately that's not good. I mean, he won't hurt himself. He just holds the tweezers really tightly, and sometimes you have to lift him up for him to let go. Well, it's amazing. Some guts came out of that cockroach. Can you believe what a beast it is? As an interesting fact, these animals are not venomous, so if you were wondering whether they have any venom, they don't. No, and that's an interesting fact. Look, the cockroach's guts came out nicely. Here you can also see this whip right here, the tip of the whip. And at the base of this whip, there are glands that produce almost pure acetic acid. And when you irritate it, it smells like vinegar. So don't provoke the whip scorpions. Great. In that case, let's close it. Oh no, sorry. Where else is the hiding place? Great. Awesome. So since the animals are fed, it's time for the main theme of the episode, for the main character of the episode, which is the spider that's sitting in this terrarium. And now, what's the plan of action, and why did I even decide to record an episode about this spider? There's mainly one reason. I'm checking if this spider, a typical trapdoor, is alive. We'll discuss what a trapdoor is shortly. I bought this spider almost a year ago from Archaeopter, and as far as I know, I think they're the only ones who currently have these spiders on offer. But anyway, never mind that. I bought this spider from them, and listen, it's a female, and I haven't seen it since. So keeping this spider seems a bit absurd and pointless. Why keep something you can't see? It's just glass and substrate, right? The spider appears to be alive due to its resistance to keeper mistakes and the absence of a foul odor from the container, which would be present if the spider had died and started to decompose. Third, the cockroaches vanish. After a year, all signs point to the spider still being alive, and I'd like to finally confirm it. This container, as you can see, is quite narrow, right? It measures 12 cm wide, 25 cm high, with a base depth of 20 cm. And the soil is piled at an angle so that he can make a flap and the whole tunnel in the back part of the container. Alright, and now, this little spider belongs to the Seriocosmus genus. This spider is from the Cyclocosmia genus. Let's take it out, discuss it, and then create a new terrarium for it. Alright, we have the terrarium, let's move it aside. Okay, now we have the perfect opportunity to tell you what a trapdoor is. We call certain families of spiders trapdoors, and they got this name because of their lifestyle, their way of hunting, right? These spiders are called trapdoor because they spend most of their lives underground in self-dug tunnels. Their name comes from their unique hunting method. Well, look, that's why. Oh, there you go, see? Here's a flap, and there's an entrance to a burrow where there's probably a live spider inside. Trapdoor actually refers to this flap, which the spiders use when when a small insect comes onto this flap. The spiders either lift the flap or just quickly come out, grab the prey, and hide back inside. So the lifestyle of spiders, typical trapdoors, for example, like the hero of our episode today, Cyclocosmia cf. Rickettii. Well, I'm not entirely sure if this is actually Rickettii, but I'll just refer to it as a spider from the Cyclocosmia genus, which belongs to the Halonoproctidae family, right? Halonoproctidae. And these spiders, among others, are typical trapdoors, as you can see here, meaning they make burrows. Alright, let's start by picking out the peat for the substrate. Here I have a container for the substrate, and then we'll move on to extracting the spider itself, whatever condition it's in. That's how we'll take it. First, let's remove the larger decorative elements that were here. From what I've managed to read, since these spiders aren't exactly masters at weaving webs, their little tunnels are made mainly from silk and mud, right? Where they live, the ground is probably clayey and muddy, and that's what they use to build their tunnels. And what would happen if I pulled on that tunnel? It would fall apart, right? Exactly. So they're thinking about it. Alright, you know what? Because here I broke off a big piece, which probably contains the whole nest, and here is the bottom of the nest too, and we'll scrape some of this off from the ground. And we'll try to find the spider in this whole thing. We'll do it like this. Okay, and we're looking for the spider. It's probably here in the back, so if I press lightly, it should come out in the front, right? Oh, if it's still alive. I thought this burrow was deeper, I'll tell you, but it's actually not that deep. Oh, I think it's alive, or maybe it's not. And it blocked the burrow with its abdomen. She blocked it really nicely, the female did. Yeah, listen, it's alive. That's a success. So actually, that's great. That's great. Now, I feel a bit bad that I destroyed her burrow, but well, she's there. Great. No, in that case, let's switch to macro. So, just some basic info. Spiders from the Cyclocosmia genus belong to the Halonoproctidae family, as I mentioned earlier. And the spiders themselves seem to be very, very rare wherever they are found. This particular spider comes from China, so Cyclocosmia rickettii, right? It comes from China, if it really is Cyclocosmia rickettii. And from all the reports I've heard, it turns out that spiders of this genus are extremely rare, extremely rarely found. As for its appearance, well, it's a typical trapdoor spider. Generally, you could call it a tarantula, but you know, I personally like to call only spiders from the Theraphosidae family tarantulas, so let's just say it's simply a spider. The small spider is quite frightening despite its size. As for its temperament, as you can see, it's not a very aggressive spider. And it usually spends its whole life hiding in its burrow, and I haven't heard of it biting anyone, because it's hard to talk about a bite when the spider spends its entire life underground. So if we don't keep pulling it out and stressing it, this little spider won't do us any harm. And as far as I know, though this isn't completely confirmed, the venom isn't very dangerous to humans either, so there's absolutely nothing to be afraid of here. Besides, as you can see, the little spider is more scared than eager to attack, so soon we'll make it a new home where it can hide. Alright, enough chit-chat, I'm showing you the front of the spider, but as you know, spiders from the Cyclocosmia genus are recognized by their abdomen. So maybe let's take a look at their abdomen, because it's thanks to the abdomen and its shape that these spiders got their nickname, you know, cookie spiders, Oreo spiders, or even money spiders. I've heard that name too, like money trapdoor spider, something like that. Or coin trapdoor spider, just look at that abdomen, it's something amazing. It looks like a stamp or, for example, an ancient coin or something like that. Interestingly, these spiders are among the earliest discovered spiders in China, right? when other species were not yet known. It was spiders from the Cyclocosmia genus that were discovered. And what's more, there are some reports from ancient times that, spider-like creatures, something in the ground people would find. And it turned out later that these were probably spiders from the Cyclocosmia genus. The small spider looks intimidating, with springtails crawling on it, indicating it's thriving in this terrarium. As for the terrarium conditions, you definitely need to provide it with quite a moist substrate. So I spray the substrate very often, and I think you can see it here because the substrate is quite dark, so the little spider can sit there without any problem, and it definitely won't dry out. Here's an interesting fact. The abdomen, which as you can see looks kind of cut off, is also used by the spider in dangerous situations to basically plug up its tunnel. The spider sticks out its rear and blocks the entrance to the tunnel with its rear end in case the trapdoor doesn't work. And this way it simply makes it harder or impossible for a predator to reach its body. That's because the abdomen is heavily sclerotized, so it's really hard for a predator to break through it. The little spider is really scared. Even when flipped onto its back, it remains curled up and motionless. I need to make it a new home quickly to reduce its stress. Absolutely, but since that's the case, at least we can take a look at its chelicerae. Well, at least partially, see? They definitely are. Alright, the little spider is here. Well, it doesn't seem too eager to escape from what I can see, so for now, let it just sit here. And interestingly, it's actually pretty quick. Once it gets going, there's really no catching it. It moves its short little legs really fast. And here, maybe as a fun fact, oh, here's its tunnel. So this is its whole construction, which I just shamelessly destroyed. If you were to open up this tunnel, oh, do you see? It's lined on the inside. Nicely with web, right? So we have here just a very nice little tunnel that this female made for herself. And I think she'll make one again if we put her in a new terrarium. And to make the terrarium, I think we can easily use the substrate that was already here. I don't see any mess here, nothing has hatched, only springtails are crawling around, but springtails are actually quite desirable creatures, so it's all good and we can easily use this. So of course we'll add a lot of hay fiber. Okay, I think that's enough substrate. You see there's quite a lot of it, and for stability I've already moistened it a bit with water, because obviously moist substrate is a bit more stable than dry substrate. As for the spider itself, to make things a bit easier for it and not stress it out too much, we're going to do something called, a test hole. For example, I'd like it to make its burrow here, so finger digger and we make a hole. There you go. This is a place where this female probably has a chance to make her own burrow, because since it's already dug, there's no need to dig another one. As for some decorative elements, I got from Przemek, along with a million other things, some great decorations like these little robots, which are, let's say, a bit flashy. But actually, why not? It'll be a bit more colorful, right? For the holiday, you have to brighten things up. And it's also good to make these different mossy things here, because those spiders, they decorate their slippers a bit with elements from the surroundings. Plus, I got these phenomenal little stones. So thanks, Przemek. Consider adding a small stone for variety. These stones are fantastic with a graphite-like color. Some likely fell into the burrow. We can sprinkle vermiculite for variety. I like how it looks. So the little spider is really funny. As you can see, it's still very stressed. So maybe let's not stress it out anymore and just put it into the terrarium. But here I'll just move it onto the brush, but very gently, you see? And we'll leave it here, right? There you go. Oh, see how quick that was? Let's switch to macro mode while it's still spread out. And now we can see this spider in all its glory. Now that's just perfect. Well, it's a bit disgusting, but in my opinion, it's also very fascinating. Now all we have to do is wait for it. There you go. It'll make a nice little burrow with a flap, and it'll keep living here with me. And I probably won't see it for the rest of the year, because that's just how it is. And don't worry, these spiders don't climb glass. So, as you can see, they're really clumsy. You know what? I think I'll help it a bit and give it a gentle push. Letting the spider out of the terrarium was a bad idea. It got stressed and fell out. Let's move it back into the terrarium. I take back what I said about them being gentle. This one is actually really nasty. See? So now just take it and put it in the terrarium, right? Attempt to put the spider into the Vault 2 terrarium. Don't get nervous. Oh, okay. He went in, she went in. And that's it, my dear friends. I hope you enjoyed the video and that you liked the spider because it's unique, cosmic, and looks amazing. Well, that abdomen is like a whole different world. I'm really glad it's alive, which means it doesn't need much here to be happy. To keep the hole in the ground alive, occasionally toss in a cockroach and it will vanish. So if that's the case, don't forget to subscribe and all that, and I'll see you in the next videos. The holidays are coming up soon, which means there will be a short break in videos, but don't worry, we'll catch up after the holidays. Take care, see you, and bye. Thank you.